No live tweeting during the broadcast section, then use the microphone provided. Uma.
Hi Thomas, thank you for speaking to us. Let's start off with team news. How is everybody?
Everyone is, or most are okay. So Micky is good, trained today, is available for selection for Saturday. So it's good. Djed is getting closer. It'll be a little bit touch and go, but there's a good chance that he could be ready. Thought maybe there was one more. Can't remember. Yeah, but those, yeah.
Cristian Romero, you're expecting to be back available this weekend?
Yeah, I do that, yeah.
He's back. And I'll ask you about Romero because, as you know, I'm sure he's taken to Instagram this week to call the number of players that were available at the weekend disgraceful. I was just wondering what you thought he meant by that and what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, I think if you want to know what he meant, you of course need to ask him. I think that's the right way to take that question. Kochi is a very passionate character and player that they want to leave everything on the pitch and is very ambitious and want to win every single time. Sometimes when you are like that, sometimes there is can come an outburst. It happened this time, and it's something we, of course, dealt with internally.
And this is not the first time he's perhaps taken to social media to express his frustrations. How do you feel about him using social media to do that?
I think I said to you again that there's a lot of ways of doing things. Kochi has been very good for us this season and the past seasons, and I think that's very important to be aware of. I wouldn't have done it. Yeah, that's my message.
And the timing of the post has been interpreted by some in reference to the transfer window. Are you happy with the amount of business that the club did during that window?
I think I think we signed Conor Gallagher, which is is a quality player to the, how can you say, a quality player for the starting 11. Of course, he needs to perform, and no one is promised any position. But we signed a quality player, and then we signed a young player for the future. I think if you compare to a lot of the other Champions League clubs, Premier League clubs, I think that's very good. And I think where we are, I think is, it's okay. We tried to do more, but it was not possible for whatever reason. And I said it the whole time, that is very, very important, that we take good decisions and are calm. So it needs to be for the short term and for the long term.
Thank you, Thomas. Best of luck this weekend.
Sarai, please.
Thomas, good to see you. I want to talk about João Paulinho because he had an excellent performance against Manchester City. Very versatile, plays as a six, plays as a right-sided centre-back. Also nominated for Premier League Goal of the Month. I actually spoke to him earlier today and he said, I spoke to Thomas earlier and I said, I'm really excited for the Manchester United game. How is the morale in the squad? It must be really good for you to hear that the players are up. They feel like they're in a good rhythm to go against them.
João has been very, very important for us in many ways, and to have a versatile player like him that can play the six, that outside centre back also played one of the two, which he did in second half, is very impressive, and he's part of driving the team. And I agree with him. I think there's been, I said it for a while. I think the performances are more competitive. Consistent. Are they perfect? No, but we are getting closer and closer. And I think especially the last, 4 performances more, that we have a little bit of an unbeaten run. And can we, instead of only, not only, but have some top second half performances, I think can we also add up more in the first half. So I think we are in a place where we can look forward.
We know Tottenham have played better away from home as well. Old Trafford is a big occasion. What have you made of Carrick so far? He's had an excellent start and their style of play.
Yeah, I think he's had a great start. Seems like there was injected a little bit of energy or whatever into the team. And I think it looks like some of the players are they are in a good place. We know the threats. I also think the post before from Brian and Burmo, Ahmad, Cunha, and we know Fernandes is getting this team ticking. He's done that the last, 4 or 5 years. He's been incredible. So it's a threat. It's a challenge, but we're all looking forward to it.
And lastly, Xavi Simons, it seems like he's expressing himself, he's playing with more freedom. Of course, the whole team's level needs to be consistent and uplift, but individually, is this just all you wanted to see from him just enjoying his football a bit more and taking more risk?
Yeah, but I think he took plenty of risk also when he started. I just think now, of course, naturally, he's more consistent. He's knowing his teammates better. The teammates know him better. We become a little bit more consistent. He's adapting more and more to the Premier League, and also to play Premier League and Champions League is just different. And I agree that his last performance has been very good, and the way he is, creating for the team in different ways. I like that. If it's a touch ball in behind, if it's driving the ball, slide pass, outside the foot, cross. So I think he's getting better and better.
Thank you.
Ian, please.
Hi, Thomas. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Sorry to go back to Romero's text messages, or sorry, not text, social media posts. You said that we should ask him, but we don't get a chance to ask him. So I'm asking you as his manager. 4 times now this season, he's sent messages which could have either...
4 times?
I think it's 4 times, certainly 3, that he could have embarrassed the club or has mentioned the hierarchy at the club. Just asking, do you think that it's acceptable, and do you think that having had a word with him maybe on a couple of occasions beforehand, it's maybe not getting through to him?
First and foremost, I don't know it's 4. Or maybe you've got better numbers than me. I know after the Bournemouth game and this game, those are the 2 I can relate to. Of course, like with a lot of things, we're dealing with it internally in terms of what we're taking care of it. That's my main message to that.
But by dealing with it internally, I mean, Pedro Porro sent out a couple of social media messages as well. I mean, would you prefer your squad not to go on social media, and just, if you haven't got anything positive to say, just don't say anything on social media?
The social media, I think I can't get rid of it. I think it's what some people call the future, or is the now, whatever it is. So it's out there. And one thing I do know, we all definitely put too much attention to social media, all of us. And it seems like everything was written on the social media is the truth. It's such a small number of people who are actually writing something out there. And everything we just take for, no, that's the truth. Which I think is a challenge in general, overall. But of course, with everything, that's the way it is, and we just need to deal with it.
Finally, your challenge most immediately is Manchester United. It seems that this season United and Spurs have gone in very different directions since they met in the Europa League final last season. United, after a slow start, now are looking at getting back into Europe and the Champions League. For Spurs, what is the ambition in the Premier League from here until the end of the season?
I also think it's maybe a nice little context to say that Man United don't play European football. I think we can all acknowledge there's a little bit, it's extra challenge. It's something we embrace and we're happy with. So I think let's judge us when we are on the same, challenges. The ambition is that we want to do very well and carry on with the good performances and beat Man United in 2 days' time.
Thanks, Thomas.
You're welcome.
Alistair, please.
Hi, Thomas. Just one more on the Romero post. Just wary about, I know it's social media and you can't take too much, but so many of the players liked the post. And I just wonder, is that make it even more of a delicate thing for you to have to deal with internally in terms of punishment, whatever was done, because this kind of wealth of feeling among the squad, it seems?
First and foremost, we don't know what a like means. I don't know how many words were there in the text. Is it well done, guys? You did amazingly when I had to go off at a halftime. If that's a like, then perfect. Then there's nothing.
Okay, fair enough. Can you understand the fans' fears about the lack of activity towards the end of the window? Because obviously you spoke to us in press conferences towards the end about maybe a short-term solution might be a loan signing, things like that. And I think maybe the fans fear that the position in the table, if you can't put out, say, a full team or options on the bench to change games, you could end up sliding down further.
What I like is that the fans are very passionate and they want the best for the club, and are very ambitious, which they should be. Tottenham is a fantastic club, and we should achieve great things. It's also you say the challenge is we have a few players out. Some of them are coming back, and a lot of them are coming back also this season, and hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's one thing. Of course, we looked into loan options. Of course, we looked into other options, but for different reasons, nothing more happened. And I still think it was not like we wanted to buy 5 players. That's not the case. So we got a very good player in Conor Gallagher, and a good young one in Sousa.
Just last one. I know it's with hindsight now, but I just wonder, do you look back at all on the Brennan Johnson sale, bearing in mind we now know no more attackers came in after that, and still feel the timing was right, and maybe it could have been a summer move rather than a January one?
I say there's a lot of moving parts in every decision, in terms of when you sell a player or when you buy a player. You can say if we play 3-4-3, we have right now 5 available players to the front 3, which is a decent number. Hopefully Richie is back soon, then we have 6, and when Mo come back, then we have 7. So if you look at from that perspective, I think it's okay.
Hi Thomas, just back on Romero. I think last time this happened after the Bournemouth game, yourself and Johan spoke to him, and I know you said you've dealt with it internally this time. Just wondered if you could clarify, was it yourself and Johan, Vinay, whoever, who spoke to him again?
That I can clarify that we dealt with it internally.
Fabio Paratici, he's left the club now. He's been unveiled at Fiorentina today, and he's come out and said Fiorentina have a serious set of owners, and he repeated that statement a couple of times. Just wondered what you make of those comments.
I haven't seen them. Two, don't know them, so I back Fabio to that's probably the truth.
And then just final one from me. Spurs have conceded quite a lot of goals from outside the box this season. I think it's the 3rd highest in the Premier League. Just wondered if you had any particular thoughts on why that is the case.
No, that can be a big analysis on that. There can be unbelievable quality in the moment from players. There can be a coincidence. It can be that we didn't put enough pressure on the ball in a specific moment. I would like us to. You can say I think we scored 2 goals in the last 4 or 5 games, so that should have given us more points than we got. So no doubt that we can. There's a lot of things we can improve. One of them is to concede less.
I'll finish this section with George, please.
Hi, Thomas. Can you confirm if you've fined or disciplined Cuti Romero in any way?
I can confirm that we dealt with everything internally.
And I guess, we don't know then if you have or not, but what would be the argument for sort of fining him and disciplining him when, people can draw conclusions, but I guess factually he stated that he was ill, but he felt like he had to play because you only had 11 players, and that's disgraceful. What is he said there that's not true, I guess?
I think is the beauty of written text is that you can read a lot into it, and nobody really knows what was the purpose of it, except Cuti or the guys who've spoken to him, and everything is dealt with internally.
And I guess, sticking with that, one thing that feels clear is that, Romero could easily have not said this. He could have kept his head down. The fact that he is speaking about this situation and how disappointed he is, I guess, it does show that he cares for the club, right?
I think it shows that Cuti is extremely passionate. He wants to win. He wants to do everything he can together with his teammates to achieve great things. But you need to ask him next time you speak to him.
And just finally, I guess with the remaining games of the season, I think you're 10 points or 9 points, above West Ham in 18th and 10 points off Liverpool in 6th. It felt like in January maybe one more signing could have made the difference in pushing to Europe. The club's spoken about ambition a lot but it feels like the club's kind of settling for mid-table right now. Is that fair to say?
That's your opinion. I don't think this club is very ambitious. I think if it was like this easy to get another player in, then I played Football Manager. I decided that was not as fun to be a head coach of Tottenham. So it's never that easy. It's much more complicated. We all know that. Very ambitious. We are in different stages of where we want to be, but that's not the same that we are not ambitious. We are very ambitious.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there and move on to the embargoed section for 10:30 p.m. on Friday. Tom?